Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on your Saturday. It is August 16th.
A lot of people are waking up and there's a little bit of rain for them or their driveway's wet or something like that.
That's kind of the best way to wake up on a weekend, like that little light pitter patter.
Yes, absolutely. Now that first batch of rain is moving through the hill country, so it's out of San Antonio right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the authority radar. You can see some of that rain moving through Bandera, approaching Comfort and Kerrville. Of course, that area hard hit a month ago by the floods of July 4th. You can see, though, that the heavy rain is falling in Bandera and Medina, but it's moving. So we're not really going to be looking at any major flooding issues from this initial batch of rain. In fact, Kerrville, you could see some of this heavy rain here. Right now you're dealing with light rain, but the heavier rain will be in your backyard by about 8:40. And again, we'll keep an eye on this for you, but really around San Antonio, it's fairly quiet at the moment. Looking at your weekend forecast for the rest of the day here, we're going to have a couple of pop-up downpours, especially before noon, but coverage will be about 30%. So we just had the initial batch of rain move through. That was our highest rain chance for the day. Now that is moving out of San Antonio, for the rest of the day, we're going to have about a 30% chance. Otherwise, high temperature near 96. Now tomorrow, totally different story. It's going to be mostly sunny and hot. 100 degrees for the high, feeling like 106. And if you did not get as much rain as you wanted to earlier this morning, we've got more rain chances in the coming week. I'm going to have those details in a few minutes. Sarah,
thank you. New this morning, we're still learning about an incident that happened on the west side at an apartment complex. It's believed to be a shooting, but we're still waiting for police to confirm that with us. It happened around 3 o'clock this morning near Highway 90 and Frio City Road. So as you can see on your screen there, police are investigating that area, and we will update you as soon as we learn more on air and online. San Antonio police arrested a man in connection to the shooting death of SAISD student Simon Cuevas, and they're looking for more suspects. So take a look at your screen here. That's 18-year-old Fernando Flores. He's charged with capital murder of a person older than 10 and younger than 15. And investigators are still looking for Cesar Tijerina and another suspect who they haven't identified because of his age. So 14-year-old Simon Cuevas III was shot on April 16th at the corner of South Elmendorf and Merida Streets. Surveillance video you're seeing right here shows a group of people following him as he left school. Witnesses also told police that a group attacked Cuevas, and then one of them in the group pulled out a gun and shot him. Cuevas died at the hospital. SAISD sent KSAT a statement after Flores' arrest. It reads, quote, "We are grateful to law enforcement for their pursuit of justice in this case, and we continue to lift up the family who suffered the senseless loss of their son and our student who will always be a member of our own SAISD family." They went on to say, "We hope this news brings his family and ours some comfort," end quote. An Ingram city official is battling stage 4 cancer while pushing for life-saving measures for his own community. City Councilman Ray Howard has a rare form of cancer and has been in the hospital bed for weeks in Houston. He says he got an infection while helping flood victims because of his weakened immune system and has been hospitalized ever since. He was released from the hospital Thursday afternoon, and our team was able to speak with him about his fight and his push for a new warning system.
And right now I've got 11 tumors that I'm dealing with. One of the ladies at City Hall opened up a GoFundMe account, and it's not. I've never asked for money. I don't, but I'm running out of money, running back and forth to MD Anderson. And if we can get a 15-minute Head Start warning, more would be better. But that would have saved a heck of a lot of lives.
So one of his colleagues in Ingram City Hall set up a fundraiser to help afford his treatment. Howard says that while he does need help, he hopes that the people prioritize finding a donor to purchase the flood warning system that he and his council members recently approved. Texas's second special session started yesterday, and already the Senate has pushed a THC ban past its first legislative hurdle. For months, we've been following this state legislation outlining possible new regulations for consumable hemp products. Nothing has yet been passed in a law, but it's gotten close a few times. The problem is every time a new session starts at the state capitol, the legislative process goes back to the very beginning. This time it's under Senate Bill 6, and it's virtually banning all THC products with a few exceptions like CBD. Advocates of the ban have been loud since January. Before it's too late, people like Wade Warner are trying to build support against a ban. They're hosting a rally against that later today.
I don't think that I can do it with this one event. I don't think that we as a company can do it alone. It takes a community.
So in only just a few hours on Friday, the state advanced its version of the ban through committee. On the House side, the bill made no movement because most Democrats are still out of the state and they don't have enough members to conduct business. We're waiting to hear what a federal judge decides about a law that would require all public classrooms in Texas to display the 10 Commandments. So dozens of families filed a lawsuit against a number of public school districts. They say the law violates the First Amendment. On the other side, the school districts say the 10 Commandments are part of U.S. history. They say a committee that represents people from all backgrounds picked the version of the commandments that may go into classrooms. But we want to make it clear this hearing and any decisions that the judge makes would only apply to the school districts listed in the lawsuit. The plaintiffs hope that if the judge says the law is unconstitutional, other districts will follow their lead. At this point, the judge hasn't made a decision, but he says he expects this to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Well, this morning, President Trump returning to Washington after a high-stakes closed-door meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska. This was their first face-to-face since Trump returned to office, and it happened as the U.S. pushes for a ceasefire in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The two leaders met yesterday but offered few details and no announcement of a ceasefire. President Trump called the talks productive, while Putin described them as constructive. But Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who was not part of the summit, warned that Russia's recent attacks show Putin has no plan to end the war. Meanwhile, the director of the National Institutes of Health laid out priorities in a new statement. Dr. J says the goal is to clear up recent changes to the agency. So those changes include budget cuts, canceling grants, and plans to reorganize. Part of this strategy explains why the NIH is pulling medical research funding from universities that have diversity and inclusion programs. The statement says that top quality science doesn't support different treatments based on race or ethnicity. It also says the NIH will focus on what it calls more promising research for transgender youth. That means looking for options beyond puberty suppression, hormone therapy, or surgery. It's 8:08 and 78 degrees. Summer break might be over, but the fun is just getting started. Stay with us to discover all the exciting events you and your family can take part of this weekend.
Hey there, good morning. I'm Patty Santos here at Augie's Barbecue by the zoo. Take a look at all these folks here. They just finished running. We're going to tell you how you can get started on your training for the fall runs coming up.
And some of those runners had to dodge a couple of downpours this morning. That rain is now moving into the hill country, but will we have more chances later today? All details after the break.
If your goal is to run in the inaugural San Antonio Marathon this December, formerly the Rock and Roll Marathon, you have 4 months to start your training. So if you need some motivation, our Patty Santos is live this morning with a group of road runners that can help you with that. Hey, Patty.
Hey there, good morning. I am so motivated. I'm not dressed to run, but the runners are just wrapping up. They've been running for about an hour. I was asking how much they've run. They said they just kind of ran for 50 minutes or so. This is the stretch station. Some of them are getting their stretch on, and you can see the group here. There was hundreds of them that came out for this kickoff event. I'm joined by Frank DeMoore. You're one of the trainers here for the half marathon, and these are for folks that, you know, they can't quite run, but they might run and they might walk for the marathon. How's it going?
It's going great. This is as you said, this is our kickoff, the kickoff of the 2020-2025 fall training season for the road team. It's a 16-week program, and we have everybody out here. Like you said, some people can't run the whole thing, so I head coach the interval team, which is you walk some, you run some. I personally run 30 seconds, walk 60 seconds. Other people do 30-30. Some people do 90-30. It just depends on what you can do. That's the thing about the San Antonio Road Runners. We have a pace for every runner, a runner for every pace. We don't make people do what they can't do. We encourage them to do what they can and get them to try and do more.
Okay, if folks are watching, and I know I feel that way a lot of times, like I could not possibly run that. You started about 12 years ago, and the running, it started off slow, and now you're doing full marathons.
Yes, well, I started off just trying to run a 5K. That was my goal. I was going to run a 5K and, quite frankly, go back to sitting down. But after I did the 5K, I found that I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the health benefits of it. And a year after I did my first 5K, I completed my first marathon. And I did that training with the San Antonio Road Runners.
Wow. This is a nonprofit, so when you guys get together, not only are you building each other up with your health and with your running, but also friendships, right?
Oh yeah, I have made probably friends out here that'll be my friends for life. I come out here, there are people that I specifically look for when I come out here because they've become such good friends, and we run together. I've learned a lot about people out here, running with them. I remember one time I ran with a lady that I hadn't met before, and we ran for like 12 miles together. And by the time we were done, I knew her kids' names, her grandchildren's name. I knew her dog's name. She knew about my family, and we became friends and ran again after that.
Wow. And by the way, I've been seeing folks here, different ages, different backgrounds. It is so inspiring to be with a group that I'm thinking, maybe I feel like I'm not in shape, but these folks are inspiring me maybe to sign up. We are going to put in information on our website on how to get connected to the San Antonio Road Runners so you can start your running journey for this fall. Thank you so much, Frank.
Thank you.
We'll send it back to you, Sarah.
All right, Patty, we're going to keep you accountable. You just said on television that you're going to get into running, so we'll have to see.
I don't. Good for them, because Sarah, the humidity, it's and
intense. They had to deal with the potential for rain. Now, we did have rain in San Antonio, mainly west of 281 this morning. That rain right now is working its way through the hill country, through Bandera into Kerr County. Of course, hard-hit areas of Kerr County from the floods about a month and a half ago. But I want to put your minds at ease if you're in Kerr County. This is just an approaching downpour right now. So we're really not looking at any kind of major flooding or anything along those lines from this downpour. Rainfall rates are falling, which means that it's losing its intensity. We're also starting to see this even lose lightning. Earlier, we had a couple of lightning strikes out near Bandera, but now things have really quieted down. That being said, the heavier batch of rain right here in the reds and the oranges will be in Kerrville by about 8:55 this morning. Otherwise, we're seeing some of that heavy rain falling near Sisterdale. If you're waking up this morning around San Antonio and your driveway is a little wet from rain, this is the reason why. Take a look at rainfall amounts just in the last 12 hours. So in the overnight hours, you can really see pretty much exactly west of 281. That's where we had some rain. About an inch of rain near Castroville, about 2 inches of rain from Bandera down to Hondo. And some neighborhoods inside of 1604 that saw a decent amount of rain, include areas around 1604 and 410, so closer to John Jay High School. This is that area that saw about 3/4 to an inch of rainfall. So that was one neighborhood that certainly won the rainfall lottery. Also, we've seen a little bit of rain near Clark High School. Go Cougars! I'm a proud graduate of Clark High School. Hey, look at that, 7/10 of an inch of rainfall out near Clark. Now, why are we seeing the potential for rain? Let's take a look at the setup. It's because we've got that low pressure system that moved in from the Gulf. It's now right over Laredo. And so throughout the day today, we could see a band or two of a quick downpour. So looking at the futurecast, you can see just how spotty this is going to be. Not many people are going to see an abundance of rainfall, but if you do, it could be temporarily heavy at times. And you can see like 1 or 2 pockets of rain is entirely possible for the rest of the day. Otherwise, we're going to call it about a 30% chance across the board throughout the day today. Again, that rain earlier this morning was kind of like that main batch of rain, so anything additional will be very spotty. We'll be looking at a high temperature of 96 degrees in San Antonio today, so the extra clouds are going to keep temperatures down, particularly again in the hill country. There's going to be highs in the upper 80s, 88 in Kerrville. That's pretty good for August. Meanwhile, closer to 100 off to the east near Gonzales, Nixon, Floresville, and Pleasanton, where there will be less coverage of the rain. Are we done with rain? No, we are not, because as we look at the long term, that low pressure system will move out of the way, and very briefly we'll see a heat high move overhead. I say very briefly because really just tomorrow we're going to be looking at a pretty hot day. But with that heat high moving out of the picture, by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have some energy for some additional rain, about 30 to 40% chance every day. So the potential there for additional rain is possible. You can see, again, rain chances pick back up again by the middle of the week, 40% on Wednesday and Thursday. One last thing to talk about is the heat tomorrow. I mentioned that heat high will be briefly overhead. Tomorrow, our heat index values are going to be anywhere from 100 to 108. So please use caution for your Sunday. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. You can see, again, a chance for rain today briefly. Then we'll be seeing temperatures near 100 Sunday and Monday with additional rain, especially Wednesday and Thursday. I'll be back to talk more about Hurricane Erin coming up in the next half hour. For now, we've got more news for you after the break.
Okay, here's a heads up about traffic. Right now, the southbound lanes of Loop 410 from I-10 to Rigsby Avenue are closed and won't reopen until Monday morning. So drivers will be moved over to the frontage roads instead. So TxDOT plans to open a new flyover ramp on the city's southeast side, which will be open to drivers starting Monday morning as well. So if you're headed that way, be prepared to slow down and maybe leave with extra time. It is 8:23 and 78 degrees this weekend. A way you can help support Parkinson's Foundation right here in San Antonio. After the break, we'll tell you how the San Antonio Zoo is paying tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. This weekend, the San Antonio Zoo is paying tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. For every Crazy Train ticket sold, the zoo will donate $1 to the Parkinson's Foundation. Ozzy Osbourne was battling Parkinson's disease. The tickets cost just $6 for adults and kids ages 3 and up. There will also be rock and roll trivia and giveaways of Ozzy-themed merchandise. We'll be right back. Good morning. It's 8:30 on your Saturday. It is August 16th.
Halfway through August.
We're halfway through August. We've had some more triple digits this month than we've had a pretty moderate summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sarah, I'm glad you bring that up because we're actually about to be past the hottest time of the year. So it's all downhill from here.
We're doing it, guys.
In a good way.
We got this. We can get through this.
That being said, there has been some areas of rain this morning, and that rain is pushing through Bandera County into Kerr County. This is that batch of rain that moved through western Bexar County overnight. So if you're in Bexar County, you're stepping outside the next hour or so, you might notice that the concrete's a little wet because of this batch of rain that moved through. Again, it's weakening as it's approaching Kerrville, Ingram, and Comfort. Of course, here's the Guadalupe River. We know that that flooded horribly back on July 4th. I want to put your minds at ease in Kerr County. This is just passing rain. There's not even any lightning with it. So this is going to move on through. You're not going to have any flooding issues from this batch of rain. And then around San Antonio, it is fairly quiet right now. I do think that for the rest of the day, our rain is really going to be pretty spotty. So when we look at the headlines, the things to consider today, rain will be very spotty. So do not cancel your outdoor plans. We're really only talking about a 30% chance for additional rainfall. That original batch of rain earlier this morning was the main batch of rain. Most of us would get less than an inch of rain. And tomorrow is going to be completely opposite. It's going to be sunny, dry, and very hot. We'll take a look at heat index values tomorrow coming up in a bit. And I also want to talk about more rain chances next week. And I want to talk about the latest on now Hurricane Erin. Sarah, details soon.
Sarah, thank you. Runners, it's time to start training for those fall 5Ks, half marathons, and even the upcoming San Antonio Marathon in December that's taking place, the Rock and Roll Marathon. So if you're sitting on the couch, need some motivation, we know a group. Patty Santos is live this morning to tell you about a training kickoff. Good morning, Patty.
Hey there, good morning, guys. I'm still trying to convince myself about this running thing, but look, here's some motivation for you. These are the snacks that you get after you're done running, and if you run faster, then you get even the better snacks. We were a little late, so we got this, but it's still pretty good, right? I am joined right now by Tom McGee. He is 82 years old. He is one of the pace leaders here for this training group, and you were telling me you've been doing this for 17 years. What's your motivation?
It just keeps me going. It's that simple, and it's a great group. And I started out with Leukemia Lymphoma Society, and I did 22 seasons with them.
Yeah.
And that's what got me started. And I raised $38,000 for them. And then that kind of went away, so I came over to SAR.
And by the way, if you're looking at him and saying he started 17 years ago, yes, he was a little older when he started. But the first time that he actually ran a full marathon. So for the folks that are watching out there and saying, I can't do this, what are some of the tips that you have for them?
Train. That's the simplest thing that I can say. You need the training. You don't go out someday and run a full marathon. I trained from June to December, and I ran the inaugural Rock and Roll San Antonio. Also ran the last one.
And now you're going to be running the inaugural San Antonio
San Antonio half marathon.
Yeah.
But I've got 60-some marathons under my belt in 17 years.
Very impressive for an 82-year-old. And you said the first one you ran it under how long?
My first one was a full marathon. It was 4:54.
Wow.
So.
All right. Well, you're training. Good luck with your training. And if anybody else wants to find out more about how to get ready for those fall runs, you can head to KSAT.com. We have the information for the SARS Club. And by the way, I don't know what he's drinking, but I'm having one of those. We'll send it back to you guys.
Refreshments.
Oh, they're having fun out there. Some motivation. Thank you, Patty. If running isn't your thing, you need something active to do tomorrow at Confluence Park on the south side. They hold beginner-friendly yoga classes every Sunday. Sarah, that's more of our speed there. Something slow and relaxing, and Confluence Park is beautiful. So classes start at 10 a.m. under the BHP Pavilion. Bring your own mat, and they will provide you with one. Right, school may have started for some students, but some parents are already trying to figure out what to do next year. The growing number of school options can be overwhelming. especially since private school vouchers have become law in Texas in May. So, however, the Texas Education Agency just released its latest ratings for local school districts, and it's always nice to know how your kid's school stacks up against the rest. It may also help you narrow your options. So take a look at your screen there. These scores give insight into how students did for the 2024-2025 school year. Schools get a score and a letter grade just like students do to see how your child's district did. You see that corner QR code? Go ahead and scan it. And we posted that full list on KSAT.com. The districts closest to us that received an A rating are the Basis Charter School, Bernie ISD, Fort Sam Houston ISD, and Randolph Field ISD. Meanwhile, Judson, Harlandale, Edgewood, and South San ISDs, they all got Ds. The Spurs Arena is a hot topic of discussion, and we've heard from our current mayor, Gina Ortiz-Jones, and the questions that she has about the city's investment into the project. We also heard from San Antonio's former mayor, who got the ball rolling on the arena and Project Marvel altogether.
When we've approached this, we've done it prudently. We've done it to seek a fair deal that protects local taxpayers. And we also done it to achieve the great aspirations that we have for our downtown that we enjoy as local residents.
So that was part of the interview between RJ Marquez and former Mayor Ron Nirenberg. On our website, you can watch that entire conversation where RJ asked the former mayor if he's afraid that the Spurs will leave if they don't get a new stadium. Okay, it seems as though the big lottery games like Texas Lottery, Powerball, and Mega Millions are losing their luster. So jackpots of $500 million, which is over about $500 million right now, $750, even up to $1 billion, used to bring in lots of people wanting to buy tickets. Everyone wanted a chance to win, but now fewer people are shelling out cash for those tickets, and businesses are starting to notice. In fact, figures from the Texas Lottery Commission show a slowdown across the state. Powerball ticket sales for this fiscal year are also down by $225 million from last year, and Mega Millions sales have dropped by more than $13 million. The reason? Well, some people told us they don't have the money to play.
I've played in a while, no.
Why not?
The money's tight right now.
But people haven't totally given up on gambling. Businesses notice more people are buying scratch-off tickets. The current Powerball is up to $560 million. That next drawing is tonight at 10. In your morning headlines, Eli Lilly is set to raise the price of its weight loss drug Mounjaro in the UK, and the company says this move will help make the drug more affordable here in the U.S. So this comes after weeks of pressure from the Trump administration to lower prices at home. In the UK, the cost for a month's supply of the highest dose will jump from $165 to $447. That's a 170% increase. But the company promises that the prices for Mounjaro provided through the UK's National Health Service won't change. And one of the country's most iconic agricultural brands says tariffs are taking a big toll. So tractor maker John Deere said tariffs could cost the company $600 million alone this year. They've already blamed $300 million in costs on tariffs for 2023 and 2024. That hit helped pull down their net income for the quarter. Wall Street reacted with a sharp drop, sending John Deere's shares down. Company leaders say they're hoping trade deals and a better tax climate will turn things around. Okay, despite signs that inflation is still lingering, shoppers are keeping their wallets open. Consumer spending rose by 0.5% in July. That's according to the Commerce Department. Analysts say that even though consumer confidence took a hit earlier this year, overall sales have held strong. Retail spending saw gains in several areas, especially at car dealers and furniture stores. Online sales also jumped thanks to Amazon's annual Prime Day event. Consumer spending drives about 70% of the nation's economy. It is 8:40 and 78 degrees still ahead, more than 80 years overdue, but now it's back. How this book has finally returned to the San Antonio Public Library. This small town of Center Point is still reeling from the July 4th floods. How locals say they're getting through this because of the kindness of volunteers.
And we had a batch of rain move through earlier this morning. That was kind of the main show, but we still have a couple of chances for rain later today. I'm going to have the details and a look at Hurricane Erin coming up.
They escaped rising floodwaters, saved their animals, witnessed rescues, and faced heartbreaking recoveries. The people of Center Point have been through a lot. That's why Courtney Friedman spent the day there to see how the community is holding up. They say despite the tragedy, kindness has flown in from near and far.
Battered land and broken hearts left behind in Center Point after the July 4th floods.
A nightmare. I actually survived Hurricane Harvey in 17, and this definitely reminded me a lot of that.
This is a different kind of beast.
Mike Richards and Angela Simons have both seen things that will never leave their minds.
It's affected a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Mike has land in Center Point right on the Guadalupe where his daughter lives.
She called and said that, could I come over here, that there was a man that was laying down there by the house. I got all my friends and family down here and we started finding people.
His cabin was torn up and swept away.
It's got 5 or 6 pieces of them down the river.
Angela lives down the street, also on the river.
And he had an actual girl out here stranded in the tree in front of his house that they had to call the, water rescue for. She was just clinging to a big old cypress tree out there in the middle, screaming.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I bet she's okay.
Oh yes, they got her.
What also made it through were their own animals.
So how many chickens do you have?
There's 8. The water was all the way up here inside the chicken coop, but they had got up in there and everybody was good.
Hey, Mohawk.
And then there's Mohawk, Mike's 500-pound hog, the ultimate survivor.
He swam over the fence and we saw him walking down Sutherland Road. Yeah, he was mad.
But alive.
Yeah, but he was alive.
Hi. You are one strong pig.
As they find joy in the silver linings, their pain is being healed by kindness.
There's been a lot of people here helping, water, food, clean up.
And one day we had 150 down here. I mean, the kindness, everybody was showing is just incredible.
It might take some time, but we'll fully recover.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Well, out in Center Point, Courtney saw recovery teams with boats, dogs, and debris clearing equipment still, as teams are still very actively searching for the last 2 missing people, and one of them is actually a camper from Camp Mystic. Our hearts go out to that community, and we're going to continue to cover the hill country as long as we need to.
And that area, Sarah, is actually getting rain right now. And so I want to start by putting those folks' minds at ease. This rain is weakening and it's passing, it's moving. So this is not going to lead to that kind of flooding out there in the Kerr County area out toward Comfort. You can see here's that band of rain. Earlier this was moving through San Antonio, but we are seeing some moderate rain. There's Center Point right there falling over Center Point out toward Kerrville. This is moving. It's going to be out of the area. So when will the rain stop for Kerrville and Kerr County? I can actually track the end of this rainfall here. Here's where the end of that rain is. And you can see, again, probably by about 9:30, that's when rain will be done in that area and out of the county completely by 10 o'clock. Now around San Antonio, you can see that it is fairly quiet. We can look and see how much rain fell overnight, and really that rain fell pretty much along and west of 281. Here's Highway 281. Some neighborhoods got about 1 inch of rain. That's where you see this green color here. So nearer to Clark High School area, around the medical center out toward Leon Valley and down toward Somerset. And then Castroville actually saw more than about 1 inch of rainfall earlier this morning. That was that main batch of rain that's pretty much moving out of the area. What we can expect to see over the next several hours is just some spotty downpours. So we're really only talking about for the rest of the day about a 30% chance for you to see rain in your backyard until about sunset. So do not cancel your outdoor plans by any means. We can take you hour by hour through the forecast today. And again, rain is really only going to be limited to about 30% coverage. Around noon, it'll be 88. We are going to have a little bit more cloud cover today. And so because of that, temperatures should be limited into the mid 90s, only 96 for the high in San Antonio. Up in the hill country, it'll be even cooler with highs only in the upper 80s. I want to show you the setup. Why are we dealing with a chance for rain today? We're dealing with a chance of rain today because of this low pressure system right here in the Rio Grande Valley. This is what's going to allow for us to see one or two more bands of those pockets of showers. Now that low pressure system is going to be moving out of here and replaced by a heat high temporarily. We're going to see hot weather tomorrow. How hot are we going to be tomorrow? We're going to see heat index values anywhere from 105 to 110. This is tomorrow's heat index value. Again, it is going to be a hot day tomorrow, but that heat high is going to be very temporary, really only around tomorrow and for a part of Monday, because by the middle of the week, we're going to have another low pressure system out here. And that's what's going to allow for us to see a few opportunities for rain by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're talking 30 to 40% coverage. So a lot like today, not a guarantee for rain, but there is some rain in the forecast. Let's go ahead and take a look at Hurricane Erin. The latest information on Hurricane Erin, a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 145 miles per hour right along that eye. Now, Erin is likely going to stay out to sea. You can see the path of Erin here, still maintaining its speed as a Category 4 hurricane. As it enters into the northern part of the Atlantic, it will weaken quite a bit, perhaps impacting Bermuda, but more than likely, again, Erin is going to stay out to sea. And the reason for that is that that Bermuda high is going to turn it, and a cool front's going to kick it out of the way. So Erin is likely going to be a storm for the fish, but it could create some rip currents along the East Coast. Back to our weather here in San Antonio. A hot day tomorrow, near 100, feeling like 105 to 110, so a very hot one tomorrow. And then we'll see another opportunity for rain starting on Wednesday. Not too bad for the middle to the end of August. We'll be back with more news after the break.
We want to remind you that Together for Texas concert is happening this Monday, August 18th. Performers include Lyle Lovett and Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias. They'll be at the Tobin Center. All the proceeds will go to the Hill Country flood relief efforts. If you want to be there, tickets start at $35. Or you can catch the concert live right here on KSAT 12, and it'll also be streaming on KSAT.com and KSAT Plus. We'll be right back. Okay, would you return an overdue library book even if it was 82 years late? The San Antonio Library says that happened back in June. They tell us a book titled Your Child, His Family and Friends was mailed to the library from Oregon with a note. The book was believed to be accidentally packed by the sender's grandmother when she was being transferred to the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City. You can see the book on display at the San Antonio Public Library's central location through the end of August. We'll be right back.